So last year, I made a video documenting my experiences with No Sweat Summer. I reviewed every daily mission, all the new cosmetics, map changes, and gameplay changes. It was one of my bigger projects at the time, and it was really fun making that video. I was going to make a video very similar to that for this year's summer event, but the worst thing that could have happened. The trailer released online, and it showed absolutely nothing. The firework flare gun was unvaulted, which would have been cool if the flare gun wasn't already attainable in the game, and we got some new skins. That's not everything, right? Well, there were some extra things that were not shown in the trailer. Ice cream cones were unvaulted, a waterfall got some graffiti, and we got like 6 free cosmetics. Yay. The second I saw this, a singular thought popped into my mind. Why? What's the point of this? This isn't even the bare minimum, it's below that. This doesn't feel like a seasonal event. This just feels pointless. I think with this event, it kind of signifies something going forward with Fortnite. Seasonal events, live events, and major changes mid-season are kind of over / won't ever reach their peak again. Now you may be saying this is an overreaction or I'm reaching here, but am I really? Let's look at the past year, which I've personally experienced and even covered on this channel. No Sweat Summer was just mediocre. It had some fun cosmetics, but gameplay changes weren't that significant, and it didn't help that it was during one of the most boring seasons. Fortnitemares had a solid idea behind it, but it was mostly missed potential, even though the theme of that season could have helped it. Christmas could have been good if not everything was vaulted and the game wasn't a broken mess. Valentine's Day was forgettable, but to be fair, Fortnite doesn't seem to care about it anymore. Easter was just whatever. We did get some new cosmetics and a new egg launcher, which was horrible, but it was something. Since the launch of Chapter 4 though, they've slowly gone downhill, but that could always be excused. Whether it be near a new season launch or Fortnite prioritizing an upcoming event that we didn't know about, it wasn't that hard to see why an event maybe didn't reach its full potential. But there's gotta be a bigger cost to all of this, right? Like, no way it's just this. Fortnite plans events and season launches years in advance. Well, let's look at what makes a good seasonal event. The current season. A well-regarded seasonal event usually takes place during a fan-favorite season. I mean, just look at any seasonal event from 2018 through 2020. They're basically beloved, and people act like they were perfect. It makes sense though. If the current season is good, then it's usually not that hard to improve on it by theming the game to an event for a couple of weeks. So is this season good? Yeah, I like it a lot in my opinion. I really like the jungle aspect. I find it really fun fighting in it. I love the loot pool. It's actually diverse and fun to use. And while mobility isn't as crazy as it was in the last couple of seasons, it's still enough to get around. Overall, a good season. At the moment, it's not as good as season 1 of this chapter, but it's a step up from last season. Plus, with the jungle theme, it's pretty easy to theme it around summer in my opinion. However, like I said at the beginning, they only changed like 3 things. We got a slightly redesigned waterfall, a texture swap with a gun we already have in the game, and the unvault of ice creams. What was even the plan here? You couldn't even give us a separate game mode or even a dedicated summer creative map? It's just this and some daily missions and that's it? I don't even play daily anymore because what part of this is genuinely interesting enough to get me to play? Especially since we won't get another update for another couple of weeks. Even my favorite parts of seasonal events, the cosmetics, were pretty underwhelming. Meowsicles doesn't count since he was in the battle pass, but the fact that one of the main skits advertised was just a mask off for the fireworks team leader tells you everything. So like I said at the beginning, what's the point to any of this? Was the summer event just a thing to cross out the Fortnite checklist? Well, I don't know the point, but I think I know the reason. The reason why it turned out to be so whatever. It's been something that I've been wanting to discuss for a while now. It's because of the way Fortnite is delivering content, or how they plan to. For a while now, it's been rumored from here on out, Fortnite will be releasing yearly chapters, and that's a bit scary to hear. If it's true, well, that'll take a lot of manpower and work. It takes an extraordinary amount of time to bring a whole new map, weapons, and more all in one year. And unfortunately, that amount of time is pretty strict. That time can't really be split up to other things. Things like live events, LTMs, and seasonal events, stuff that doesn't necessarily matter in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, collabs are getting better since the teams actually go all out to change the meta of the game like they did for Dragon Ball and Star Wars, but those are collabs. They're what makes Fortnite trending every other week. Of course they're going to prioritize them. LTMs, live events, and seasonal events just take too much time when it could be spent elsewhere. Does this mean they're dead? Well, who knows? But I think it's clearly heading there, especially with UEFN. I think that's pretty sad to be honest. These things are what kind of made Fortnite stick out originally. Sure, they weren't the first to do it, but it kind of felt like a mini mid-season event. Something to look forward to, something that'll get you hyped up even the season 1 to your liking. If you didn't like the current loophole, well, here comes a new seasonal event that'll change up the game for a couple weeks. Or there'll be a new LTM that changes the current gameplay and meta if it isn't to your liking. But now, I don't see any hype going into them at all. Nowadays, most people don't even bat an eye when Fortnite announces one, because we all know it'll probably be lackluster, and I think that Summer Escape is the straw that finally broke the camel's back. Summer Escape doesn't even get a rating, because there's nothing to rate. I can't even say I'm hoping the seasonal events later this year are better, because I know they probably won't be. I know I've sounded mostly negative throughout this entire video, but I really want seasonal events to just be good. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be the best thing in the world. They don't have to be at the peak of what most people think were the best seasonal events. But I just kind of want them to change the game for a bit. It's an event. It should feel like an event. For example, the most recent Star Wars collab. That actually changed the gameplay and meta of the game for a couple of weeks. It was fun, and when it was gone, it was back to normal. And I really hope that isn't only the case for collabs. I want stuff like summer events, winter events, Halloween events, something yearly that will change up the game just for a little bit. And it doesn't even have to be anything new. It could usually just be the unvault of a couple of guns or a couple of game modes, and that's it. You change the game for a couple of weeks, and then you can go back to normal afterwards. Till then, I'll see you guys later.